if he makes it in time. Okay, the time is now 7:31. I will call the special virtual meeting of the Lake Como Borough Council to order. I will ask everyone to rise for a salute to the flag. If you will let me share my screen. Rise and salute to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, sunshine law, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the notice in the CoStar on June 9th, 2022, and was posted on the borough website at lakecomonj.org. All meetings are open to the public.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Whitty is excused.
He's in a t-shirt.
Councilman Skull.
Here.
Antuano.
Here.
Councilmember DeMoro is not present as of yet. Councilmember Ventris.
Here.
Albala Doyle. Here.
Thank you. At this time, we have no committee reports, so I will take a motion to open for public comment on new business.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Anyone from the public wishing to speak to any of the items under new business, you may unmute yourself and give us your name and address, or you can use the raise your hand feature if you know where that is. Okay, seeing none, I will ask for a motion to close the public comment section.
All moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So first one item under business, under new business is ordinance 2022-975 offered by Councilman D'Antuano.
All right, give me 1 second here.
No problem. So you want me to just read it for you?
Sorry,
all right.
This is the, so I don't use this computer very often.
This is the floodplain management?
Yep, sole offered ordinance number 2022-975. This is the ordinance for adoption of the floodplain management regulations of the Borough of Lake Como.
Thank you, and I appreciate everyone coming for this. This is a timely manner. We needed to get this approved by the 15th of June, so we're getting that underway. This is a second reading and public comment, so I'll open it to the public. Anyone wishing to comment on this specific ordinance may do so now.
Get a second?
Did you open it? Do you want to do a second on the ordinance first before we open it?
I think we've been doing that.
Okay, I have a motion. We have a second. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on this specific ordinance? From the public, you may unmute yourself. Okay, seeing that, I will close the public portion of that ordinance. Roll call, please, on ordinance 2022-975.
Councilmember Skull.
Yes.
D'Antuano.
Yes.
Ventris.
Yes.
Albala Doyle.
Yes.
So we have resolution 2022-104. This was supposed to be offered by Councilman Whitty, who was unavailable tonight. Does anyone have the a resolution in front of them that could offer it? Mr. Ventris? Mr. Ventris, can you offer that resolution, please?
Yes, Mayor. So offer resolution number 2022-104. It's a resolution for an interlocal agreement for Geese Management Program for the Borough of Lake Como and the Borough of Spring Lake. This is for Lake Como and Spring Lake to enter into an interlocal services agreement, which Galaxy Geese Chasing will provide the service to both boroughs, with a cost not to exceed $1,500 unless extended by mutual consent of the Borough of Lake Como and the Borough of Spring Lake.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have any questions at this time? Actually, before that, Borough Administrator Heisman, would you like to just add a little bit about where this idea originated from while we're working on the lake with Spring Lake?
Certainly. I was contacted by Brian Dempsey, the administrator of Spring Lake, asked me if we had any plan in the future to address the issues with the geese that surround the lake, as well as the park. And the opportunity was there for a split, a shared service with Galaxy Geese Management, who's just starting off. The Galaxy Geese Management is run by prior Superintendent Michael Campbell, who has a trained dog in this, who did this prior for Belmar. It works out well for us as well as Spring Lake. So for what he will be doing for us would be Lake Como, the Lake Como side, as well as Beaver Park. For Spring Lake, he'll be handling the Spring Lake side of Lake Como, as well as Rec Pond. Is that what that is? It's another section in Spring Lake. It's not coming to me. So that's pretty much it. So for the $1,500 per borough, I think it works out well as a shared service agreement.
So what do they do? What does a goose chaser do?
It's there's companies out there that one that comes to mind is Geese Police. What they do is numerous times a day or throughout the day they actually patrol the lake. What he'll do is he'll set the dog, which is trained for this, off leash, to chase, basically harass the geese, so they go somewhere else. It was a program that was done in Belmar many years ago by another councilman who had a trained dog. And when that dog has passed, Mr. Campbell had another dog that was trained for it and continued the program on. I actually have a dog that's trained as well. I just don't have the time to do it. So basically they just walk the lake and harass geese. So the geese leave and go somewhere else. Now, with that being said, if there is a neighbor in Lake Como that has a problem with geese, with the neighbor's permission, Mr. Campbell, or with his dog out, I can't think of the dog's name, will actually go and concentrate on that area to keep the geese off the residents' lawns.
So the geese aren't getting eaten by the dog or hurt by the dog. It's just
no. It's certainly a humane way. They're just being harassed. So the dog will be off leash at times. It is a trained dog just for this purpose. Once he feels it needs to be off leash, it'll chase the geese back into the water or harass them, and basically try to keep them off the lake and to go somewhere else. It's pretty cut and dry. It's a very successful program. Very, very expensive program to boot.
Drew, how often do they come?
Well, ironically, he's been out there all week. He'll be out there multiple times throughout the day.
What do they find effective, though? What's the average amount of time that they need to come?
It's consistent. It all varies. I think the springtime is a popular time. Throughout the summer months. There's other programs out there where the problem is when geese, they actually have their geeselings, if that's what they're called. They're pretty much they stay put. So that with other Fish and Game and Wildlife programs, you can oil a leg oil the eggs. If you know where they are, or if you have a Fish and Wildlife permit, you can actually round them up and relocate them, which we do not have.
All right, thank you, Drew. Sorry, I dropped out there for a second. I don't know if you were covering me, but I got back on in time. So, all right, I appreciate it. Any other questions from council? All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, roll call, please, Amy.
Councilmember Skull,
Yes.
D'Antuono,
Yes.
Ventrice,
Yes.
Albaladoyle.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. The resolution passes. At this time, we have one other item, and that is public comments. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on any topic at all, please do so. You can either use the raise your hand feature, or if you can't find that, you can unmute yourself and say your name and I will recognize you.
I guess I'm the only one with questions. I have my hand raised. This is Art Schutz from 1817 Bradley.
Hi, Eric. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Hope you're all doing well too. I have a couple of topics I'd like to go over. I haven't participated in the meeting for a while since you're having them in person right now. So please bear with me. I got a couple things on the list. I was curious, what's the latest on the old first aid squad building property?
We are beginning the development process very shortly. We are currently looking at getting some specs on the property that is owned by the town that we're looking to put up for sale, and that is surveys, et cetera, things like that. We're going to need to do our own bids, and then we will go into bid process from there. And we're still looking to use that first aid property to construct a new municipal building.
The property that you're talking about selling, which property is that? Is that where the existing municipal building is?
That would be the Main Street property from the fire department to including the fire department, the police department, and the Main Street municipal building current.
Okay. I suppose you develop the first aid squad property with the new Borough Hall there before you sell the existing Borough Hall property, is that right?
Correct, yeah, and I don't know, I don't have details on that yet, but basically part of the project would be anyone that won the bid would have to build a new municipal building first, and then they would be able to take over the property and develop that.
Okay, and then there was the neighboring property next to the old squad building that was up for sale, and we were going to purchase it, and did that fall through?
It did fall through. There was some issues that basically there was some contractual issues with the owners of the house. They eventually passed away, and the contract never went through. So the people that inherited the property sold it to a different purchaser.
Okay. All right, on a new topic, Lake Como, I don't know if you've probably noticed, it looks like there's a lot of green algae or a bloom of some kind is pretty much spreading, it seems like, pretty quickly in the lake. I was wondering if anybody has thought about looking into that.
I know that Belmar, and I will not speak for them, and I know, Drew, if you want to add this a little bit, I know Belmar was doing some investigation into the bloom, and any update from there, Drew, I think we would move forward with whatever they find.
So I did speak to Spring Lake. The lake has been treated twice. It does take time for that algae to certainly diminish. At the same time, we're trying to bring the water level back up. That would actually help the algae to diminish. But it was, I believe, twice.
Has there ever been any thought about dredging the lake to make it deeper?
So we've talked about that for years. Sorry, Drew. We've talked about that for years. Any type of dredging that we would do for that lake would have to be a combined agreement between the two towns. I'm sorry, the three towns, the three boroughs. Lake Como actually owns the least amount of that lake out of the three municipalities. I think we only own like 17% of that lake. So the first thing we would ever have to do is get into some type of agreement between the three towns, and then look into the possibility of dredging. It's very expensive. It has to go through many layers of EPA regulations and approvals, but it has been discussed, yes.
Is there a benefit to the dredging? Has that been thought of? What will be the benefits of dredging?
I don't know if Drew, if you've had discussions about that. I wouldn't be an expert on it to tell you what the benefits on the dredging are.
So I did have a discussion with Spring Lake on this issue. They are actually looking into possibly getting a grant to do some dredging. More or less, it's going to be on the western side of the lake, which is where a lot of the outflow pipes, sediment has built up the lake, where it's really shallow if there's any water at all. But I spoke to the Spring Lake administrator, and he is actually looking into the possibility of getting a DP grant to actually go ahead and do that. Benefits would be just a deeper lake, which would probably lessen the possibility of the algae. Once you have this shallowness and with the birds and the fish, it's there's the water quality. I can't say it's the best, but it's they've been testing the water, and the oxygen levels have been well.
And how about would it lower the water table and help with flooding in residential basements? Possibly.
I don't believe so, sir.
Okay. All right. I also noticed that there's a new stop sign on 18th and New Bedford Road. I was wondering what was the reason for that.
You can take that one too if you want.
Yeah, certainly. I met with the engineer, the traffic engineer on site. We discussed speed bumps as well as additional stop signs. That area is an area of concern, not just for pedestrians, but it seems to be as people turn, that road turns to the right as they come down to 18th Avenue to stop the traffic for the pedestrians, as well as, it certainly slows down traffic, but that was one suggestion from the traffic engineer, so we'll give it a go and see how it works.
Is that something that you need, like last time when we were doing the one-way signs and all that, do you have to go through a whole process for that, or you can just decide kind of ad hocly to install a stop sign somewhere, or do you like public comments or anything?
So it was an ordinance passed by the council, so there was a public meeting on it, and there were public comments. It was posted on the agenda, and there were public comments at the time.
Okay. How about putting a crosswalk? There's no crosswalk for any of those streets in that area. Do you feel that that could possibly help with pedestrians? I know not just because you have the crosswalk doesn't mean that pedestrians actually use it. They'll probably walk outside the crosswalk. But I was curious about your thoughts on that topic.
So yeah, it's definitely something that we have discussed, and we've discussed for many years. If you notice that over the past couple of years, we've been using grants to do that on 17th Avenue. When you add a crosswalk, you have to add curb cutouts that are ADA compliant. Some of those curbs do not have the cutouts. Some of them have the cutouts and are not ADA compliant. So when doing the roads and doing the repairs that we've been doing on 17th Ave, we've been adding those, and we've been using grants to do that. And it is our intent to continue to do that throughout the town. But those are very costly, and it's better to do them with grants than it is to do it through a general budget.
Makes sense. At some point, will we have an idea, probably at the end of the summer, about the effectiveness of introducing the one-way stop signs? Like there were a few that were added, like at the end of Bradley Terrace, for example.
Yeah, we are going to continue with an addendum to the existing traffic study that we're going to look at a lot of the effects of that this month, at the end of this month, I believe, or early July.
Oh, great. I also wanted to make a comment that it doesn't seem like policing the illegal parked cars on 18th Avenue is that much of a priority. I've called already 3 times. It's just the start of the quote-unquote summer season. I've already called 3 times to ask the police to send someone to start ticketing. And whenever I pass by, it seems like there's always somebody there, which even if there's just one car, including the post office, it kind of defeats the purpose of having the no parking on the street, on the one side of the street. So I just wanted to comment that I think the police could do a better job of policing that area for illegal parking.
All right, well, thank you. I'll share your thoughts with the chief.
Okay, and then I think in April minutes, there was mention of equipment for broadcasting the meetings, and that it was going to be in place in a relatively short time period. I was wondering what is involved in there and how is that going? Because I don't think that's happening.
So, Amy, can you comment on that? Are we broadcasting yet?
We are not live streaming it as of yet. I would need the company to come in to give us an overview on how to do that, as well as, I don't know if there's any sort of legal things that we need to do before we start live streaming them, or what platform we're going to live stream them on.
Okay. So we'll get into that too. We have it up and running, but we will get those questions answered.
And that's like a one-way thing, right? You can only watch, you can't participate or ask questions. Is that right?
That's what I think would be the extent of it. Yes.
Okay. All right. I think that covers everything on my list. Thanks for bearing with me.
Thank you, Mr. Schutz. Have a great day.
You too.
Anyone else from the public? Okay. Seeing none. I actually lost my thing. Okay. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close to public comments.
So moved.
We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Before we get to the next meeting, I just want to thank everyone for coming out on this short emergency notice to get this ordinance passed in a timely manner. So I appreciate the time. Amy, next meeting.
The next regular meeting of the Mayor and Council will be held on Tuesday, June 21st, immediately following the 7:30 p.m. workshop meeting. All meetings are open to the public.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. The motion is adjourned. Have a great night.
Night, everyone. Bye.